Hello, everybody. Let's see if we get any joiners. I decided today to try to do a live stitch with me. I've been working on my, I guess you could say, streaming capabilities. We'll see if anybody pops on, see if I'm actually live yet. You wouldn't believe if I'm going to post a picture of this probably in my community tab. The setup that I have going on here. It'll be amazing if I could even um, if I can even stitch. Oh, it's showing on my channel, so that's good. Let's see, can I make it big? I have two, buddy. Hi, Cal. Yes, I got it to work. Amazing, huh? Let's see. So like I said, I'm going to take a picture of this whole setup and I'm going to post it in the community tab when I'm done because I think that everybody will find it as humorous as I do, that this is what it takes to actually do a stitch with me. And you'll appreciate the rigmarole that people have to do live stitch with me's because it's a little crazy. But I needed the distraction today, so here we go. I know that many are watching football today. I am not a football person, so yeah, I know people are gonna get mad at me about that. I just don't sit to watch football. So I thought for maybe some other people that maybe aren't gonna sit and watch football either, that this might be a good idea to be on here for about an hour or so. As you can see by the picture, I'm going to be working on Lost No More. It is my oldest WIP, and the reason this got pulled out for this live stream is because it's on a KZ Creation frame, which makes it very easy to set up here under a camera. I am waiting for an adapter. I've got the one adapter that holds scroll frames. I'm waiting for, hi Tina, I'm waiting for the adapter to hold other things like Q-snaps and hoops, and then I'll be able to show other things. But today we're going to work on Lost No More, and this is going to sub in for my regularly scheduled floss tube this week. Yeah, lots going on. You know, I start up teaching in the semester in the next tomorrow. I start tomorrow. So I will be working some long days, and I figured if we can get it live in today, that would be great. So let's move this, and let's show you where I'm at. I got about 700 plus stitches into this last night, yesterday, and I mainly worked right in here. So this herd of sheep is almost done, except for the back stitch. I have a few more stitches to put in there, but they are... Hello, how are you? A few stitches, and but I'm going to work in this area again today just because it's on the back on a scroll frame. It'll make it easier for me to scroll up. The cool thing about this pattern is I bought this pattern back in the 90s if you've been following along with me, and I contacted simplicity.com because they own Dimensions now, and asked them if I could get an electronic copy of this pattern because my paper copy, needless to say, was in pretty hurting shape. Matter of fact, I should have brought it over to show it to you, but I don't have it. And they were kind enough, after I sent them a picture of my kit so that they knew I had the kit and the kit number, they sent me an electronic version that is Pattern Keeper friendly, in that you can have the chart and you can mark off your stitches. It is not searchable, and it does not have a legend. So it's going to block out. I have it on a translucent setting so it won't cover the symbol. But I can still block off the stitches, which has made this much easier for me. So I'm going to Strands of blue green. I have all my floss here. I should have had a needle loaded, probably, but I was too busy trying to get all the technical things taken care of. It takes a little bit of a takes my old brain a little bit of work to get this set up to do a stitch with me. Let's see. Green. There we go. What games are playing today? That's okay, Tina. It was nice that you stopped by. I wasn't sure how many people were going to be able to come on today. I know football playoffs are today, right? There's a playoff game today. I'm not a football person, so there you go. I think I might be the only one in my stitching group that's not a football person. You guys will have to correct me if I'm wrong. I also, yesterday, so I'm a little bit of a klutz, just by nature, and I had not, matter of fact, I had just made a comment the other day about how I had not injured myself in a long time. And I mean klutz in a big way. Like, I've stepped on nails before, I've broken toes, all of that kind of stuff. And then yesterday, I shouldn't have said anything because I jinxed myself. I cut the tip of my pointer finger on my left hand slicing a lemon yesterday. And it was doing fine. You know, it's just one of those annoying cuts that's in a bad place. That's okay, Tip. But you can see it now. Well, maybe not. See if I can get the camera. See, I have a bandaged finger. It was doing great. The bandage was off. I was using it. It's fine. And then I'm in here setting up to start the stitch with me, and I don't know what I did, but all of a sudden I noticed blood on my pattern. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I need to rebandage it. So it is now rebandaged, which is kind of a pain because, you know, stitching. And it's now in my way and it's in your way because it's a big, you know, thing. I just want to mark these off as I do them. What is everybody stitching on? Are you stitching while you're watching me, or are you making food, getting ready for the football game? I know my husband is out trying to install a heater in his garage. We did all the things today that we have to do when we get ready for me to go into stitching. Yeah, it's hard, but hi, Lori. I guess I just grab it with my other finger. I had to do it all day yesterday. I think the thing that bothers me the most, honestly, is that it's throbbing. Anyway, hubby's outside working on trying to mount a heater in his garage. So I guess I should be thankful the weather's mild enough here for him to do that. Now, those of you that know me know, sorry I keep knocking this if it's too jittery. There's a mistake in this area. That's why I'm kind of working around from the bottom. And working around it. Oh, Tina, I wanted to work on bookshelf today too. But I was saying in the beginning, I don't have. So this is on a K's Creation lap stand. I like the lap stand much better than I like the Lowry. I ordered, it holds scroll frames. However, I ordered the adapter that goes with it to hold other things. And that is supposed to be here sometime this week. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Then, if I do more lives, I will be able to do my Hades, which is kind of what I want to do because it would force me to sit down and work on them. Lori, I cut the tip of my finger yesterday slicing a lemon. And I was telling everybody it was fine, it didn't have a band-aid on it, and then all of a sudden it started bleeding again right before this live stream. So I didn't want to really bleed on my project, so I've got it taped up pretty good. And of course, I cut myself right before I start clinicals this week and go back into the hospital with students, so. Tiffany's making the money. How do you get called into Joann's? Did they call and kind of say, hey, we could really use some help today? When you say call in, I'm thinking called into the I get called into the hospital. Of course, I imagine Joann's is just like everybody else, right? They're having trouble finding workers just like everybody else. Can you guys even see my stitching? I think I have a knot. Maybe not. It is hard to hold it with that finger, I will say that. Okay, video looks good. Okay, so I think I have live working, so at least I'll be able to do it again. I should probably just leave the setup in here. These are all half stitches with 3 threads, so it should go pretty fast. It was funny, I was watching Rocking Stitcher this morning. So Tiffany, the tree, some of it's half stitches, some of it's full cross. But there's a lot of it that's half stitches with 3 threads. I don't think so either, Lori, but that's my stance on most things, as you know. It's kind of, I feel like it doesn't bother me that there's mistakes. I know that it bothers some people, and I truly, totally get that. But if I'm not going to be able to tell there's a mistake in this up on the wall, I'm not worried about it. And I think the mistake really revolved around, sometimes in dimensions patterns, some of the symbols are very similar. And it's hard sometimes to tell the difference between one symbol and another. And I think I put in a wrong color. But now that I have the pattern on Pattern Keeper, I'm really enjoying. Okay, so I have a stitch in the wrong place. Oh no, I'm good. Now that I have this on Pattern Keeper, I'm really enjoying stitching on it again. So, do I dare say that I might get this done this year? Try not to say such things, you know? So we'll see. According to what I have marked off in Pattern Keeper, I am 70.66 done. I think that's probably pretty close. There's probably some stitches that I've done that I have not marked off yet. I agree, Lori. Look at Tiffany egging me on for a finish. Let's see if I can find any more of the symbol here. I'd like to park it then. I found somewhere where I can park it. Maybe. I like to park. I just don't like to park crazy pants. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to have a million. Yes, Tina, they highlight, but they highlight. I have them set up to highlight in a gray transparent so I can see the symbol that's underneath. But they do hide. You can't search a symbol, so you can't. Or at least I haven't been able to figure out how you can search a symbol. Which is why now I'm looking all around to find out if I can park this or if I'm going to actually have to finish this thread off. Let's see. I think I'm actually going to have to finish it off. But you know what'll... It's frustrating with this because it's not completely compatible and I can't figure out how to search a symbol. That if I finish it off and then I need this... But it doesn't look like I'm gonna. I can't see where I'm gonna need this, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish it off. Piece of cake, as long as I can stay focused, girls. We all know that I have issues with that, right? So I'm finishing this thread. And so when I finish a thread underneath, to avoid when I'm in a live, I just weave it through some stitches and then cut it off. So I don't have to flip it over on the live. I have found that that is problematic and it knocks the camera even more than I'm already knocking it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to... It'll highlight a stitch. But you can't click on a stitch and have it highlight where all that color falls. So, yeah. So, in that way, it's not Pattern Keeper friendly. Right. So... trying to figure out what I want to work on next. Sorry, needle in my mouth. In the dimensions kits, I basically like the dimensions kits. I don't like that the patterns are paper, and I will probably continue to try to request the electronic pattern. I'm not sure. Sorry, I have to pick something up. I'm not sure how many necessarily that they will give me. I don't know if they track it by email address. I don't know. I had heard about it from Colette, the Highway Stitcher, and That's why I thought maybe I'd get this one. I do have um oh, me too, Tina. I was gonna try it. So I have a Mac. I'm doing this live on a MacBook Pro that I have, or MacBook Air, and I was wondering if the Tiffany was telling me about it the other day. Markup RXP, isn't that the Mac compatible one? I was gonna try pulling the pattern into there and see if it worked there. On the electronic copy of the pattern, there's not a great and not I think the legend's not importable is what it is. I think if the legend was importable, but I think the way DMC does their legends makes it not friendly in that way. So I think either way, you may be able to search the symbol, but I'm not sure that you would be able to have a legend in there. Okay, these are full X's, so these will go faster or slower. But sorry, knocking it all over the place. It's because of my finger. It's making me fumble a little bit. So this was called on my WhipGo this month, and it has already had its 3 days. Because if you recall on my WhipGo, it's 3 days. What those days consist of doesn't matter. If it's a day I can only stitch 15 minutes, that's what it gets. It's already has 3 days. Yesterday being one of them, and that was a 700 odd stitch day on this. It's also my last full weekend off for a while. So I kind of wanted to make sure I hit my WhipGo goals this month because come tomorrow, that game's going to change. I'm not going to have Saturday and Sunday off. I will be lucky to get 2 days off per week in that regard together to even have some sort of weekend. And I'm in my last couple classes of my master's program, so I have 7 weeks left of one and I think 10 weeks left of the other. So yeah. I really don't know. I've tried to keep the WhipGo kind of loose so that I could meet my goals. I'm hoping I've left it loose enough that it works. Their legend didn't come as a separate file, but I wonder if I could make it a separate file. I have to think about that. Because I wonder if I can that's a good idea, Tina. I wonder if I can separate the file myself. Or separate the legend into a different file. Let me see. I have to think on that. I don't know if I'll have time to mess with that today or not. We'll see. I have some things going on in the family right now that, not very fun, but and so we have some things to deal with today. I think that's why I decided to go live. I just needed a distraction. But we'll see. Maybe I'll have time, maybe not. Usually the night before I start teaching in clinical, I can't sleep very well, so I may be up in the middle of the night working on it. Who knows? Because that would be something fun to figure out. Because then I would know if I get any other electronic files from them, what to do with them. I'm just happy that it worked in Pattern Keeper. Makes it so much easier. The paper patterns sometimes, especially the old ones, are so hard to read. Where am I going now? Oh, look at that. I didn't even cross those crosses. I was still doing half stitch. Bet you guys saw that and wondered what I was doing. I generally like doing a loop start, so I think that's why I've converted all of my full coverage to 2 strands over 1 tent on 28 count. It's the one thing I don't like about DMC blends is you can't really do a loop start, but there is a way to do it, and I watched a video. I just haven't been successful at doing it. I just do it the old way. I fish the threads. Hi, Mom. I always want to say Grandma Nana in the house. I always want to, I do it the old way and just fish the tails through underneath stitches in the back. So for those of you that may not know, Grandma Nana is my mom. And she recently started a floss tube. She's got one video up. So back to WIPGO. I know, Tina. I think that's what you're who made me convert my full coverage, I think, to a tent, because you were doing your big beloved, and I believe you did that 2/1 tent, correct? And I was watching you and thinking, I need to convert mine to 2/1 tent because it just seems way more efficient. And that way I can do loop start. You're right, Tiffany. Grandma Nana's floss tube was good. You never know that she had never done that before. I cannot wait to get my attachment to this lap stand. I did not like the Lowry. It did not suit my needs. So I've gotten rid of that. I have a K's Creation lap stand. Cannot wait to get this set up so it holds everything. So I can 2-hand stitch like this on everything. It is. She is a natural, Kelly. I agree. That's funny. I've been telling her for a long time she should do a floss tube, and she finally, I said to coin an old phrase, got the gumption to go ahead and do it. And I'm watching her first video, and I think if you look back on my very first video, she looks a whole lot better than I did. I think I stumbled over my words and said a million times, and I probably still do all that. It's not that you finally listened, Mom. It's just you finally got it in you to do it. I think it's a scary thing to put yourself out there sometimes. And I've thought about giving up my floss tube many times. I think when you have a floss tube, sometimes it's easy to put pressure on yourself as far as content to put out. When in reality, it's really not about whether I put out content every Saturday at the same time, although that helps you with the YouTube algorithm for sure, as I found out. It's just the joy of stitching and sharing that joy with others. And I think that's the community that we all talk about on FlossTube is, I have a group, a lot of you are on this live right now that I stitch with every Wednesday night, and um, I look forward to that time during the week. And right now, working's kind of tough. Working in healthcare is kind of tough, and I would go so far as to say it's brutal at times, and to look forward to something like that can sometimes make all the difference in a week. All right, let me catch up on comments. Oh, good, Mom. You're recording one today. Tina's going to watch you. Right. Mom's finally got her sewing room all situated, which has been a little bit of a long project, but well worth it, I think. Huh, Mom? Jemima, the rocking stitcher, put up a whip parade today, and I started watching it this morning, and I haven't seen a video from her in quite, I don't know, it seems like it's been a while. How did I end up? Oh, yeah, that's right. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing because her whip parade's about 2 hours long. So hopefully this afternoon I'll be able to finish watching that. Bye, Tina. Thanks for joining. Have fun snowshoeing. Oh, there I am trying to do half stitches again. And we wonder why there's mistakes in all my projects. See how easily I get distracted from what I'm supposed to be doing? And I believe this is going to be a finished off thread as well. That's all of their legs. I don't know if you can tell that that's a sheep herd in there. Hi, Gail. Oh, let's see. I'm pretty sure that color. Oh, wait. Whoa. I might be able to park that color. Hold on. I actually can. Way down out of camera view. Well, no, just in camera view. So right here. Right there. So I'm gonna park that. Good. No, so these need back stitching. I don't even know if I can switch the camera to show you. It's all bouncing around so much. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Let's see. You weren't going to be able to see it, I don't think. Right in here, there's some back stitching in there, and it is sheep. A nice Gail. Gail started a mirror today. She said she would never do a mirror, and we've got her converted to doing a mirror. And I think we have Tiffany to thank on that as well. So yep, that's a herd of sheep. So right in here, this will all get backstitch. This is a stone wall. So this will all get backstitch and it'll be sheep coming across here. And then this is starts of a stone wall. And then this, I believe this is going to be a path. We'll see. All right, next color. All right. Talk amongst yourselves. Sorry, I keep knocking that. I converted the DMC thread to thread drop, so I could just pull out threads as I need. The thread, I'm going to tell you, if you're one that has a kit sitting around from the 90s, you may want to get that out and start working on it, because the thread, I feel like, does degrade a little bit over time. And part of that is I'm certain it's the way I stored it during that time. It wasn't really protected because I wasn't really, paying attention to that back then. I had kids and busy life. That's how it goes. Okay. The other one I was thinking about working on a live, and I've done that before, is the Mushroom and Firm chatelaine that I have going. That would be good to work on sometime too. Like I said, these lives might be my replacement for a floss tube or part. We do a floss tube update and then we go into stitching kind of thing, because it'll help me dedicate some time to stitching and stay kind of in that mode when everything's so busy. Because maybe it would be cool to do a whip update without you having to see my face. Maybe we just do the downward angle down here and show. Hi, Carol. Yes. I do understand, but I will tell you that I'm stitching a little funky right now because I have a bum finger. Hold on, let me mark my stitches here. So I pull the thread down, I come up, and normally what I would do is I would grab it like this and pull it all the way through, but because that finger's bandaged, you can see I'm grabbing with my middle finger right now because I have a bandage here and it's useless. And I just put it down through the hole and pull it through. I hope that helps. I love two-handed stitching in that I feel it's way more efficient. It's faster. Now this is going fast anyway because it's half stitches and not full stitches. I feel like my left hand is always on top. I'm right-handed. I leave my right hand below because I find that my left hand has issues trying to find where the needle should come up from below. And then, see, that just hurt. I forgot and grabbed it with my bum finger. I feel like it's way more efficient. And I'm all about the efficient stitching if you're new here. You're welcome. I hope that helps. Sometimes, and I'll try it here, I don't really do it much with when I'm using, like, this is a 3-strand half stitch. So I'll show you here. I go down to finish this stitch and I do this a lot in my Hades. I will immediately turn this needle around and put it in a hole for the next stitch and just pull the whole thing. The only thing that you have to watch with that is, well, the first thing I mentioned, the inherent issue with 3 strands. It's bulky going through this anyway, and then when you start pulling it down and then immediately up, you can get some some knotting and things like that. But on my Hades, I find that helps me stitch pretty fast because less motion. You're not pulling the thread all the way through in the back. You just have to keep your threads out of the way on top so you can see the holes. And you could turn around. I just don't, with 3 strands, actually it's turning out okay, but typically I don't like how it lays when I do it that way. Trying to remember because I'm filling in some things here, so I want to make sure that I'm marking off what I'm doing here. Okay. I would really like to get this done. I really wanted to get this done in 2022. And I burned out. I was doing 25/7 on it for a long time. I think for a good portion of 2022. And honestly, I just burned out trying to read the paper pattern. It just became so frustrating. It was one of those things you have to force yourself to work on, and I ran out of steam to force myself to work on this. It would be, now that I have the electronic copy of the pattern, I think this would be awesome to try to get done. Have a great weekend, Tiff. Have a good day at work. The other thing is the other thing I don't like I gotta not know. There we go. When you're using 3 strands of floss, I think it knots up more. I also think the threads are longer than I would normally have them because I'm using 3 and not like 2 or, some sort of even number. I will say that the effect in these pieces I think is great because you can tell when I hold it up for my floss tubes. I see it in the camera and I stop every time thinking, gosh, that looks good. And it does. So obviously there's a reason. And it doesn't knot up like horrible. I think some of the knotting is because of the way I stitch and how I yank on it. It's also weird doing lives because you're talking to yourself. Like if anybody else was here, they'd think I was nuts, right? I agree, Cal. I think I could definitely get this done this year. Now, so that's the thing with WIPGO going on. This is on my full. I have two WIPGO boards, a full coverage WIPGO, and then a category WIPGO. I should have brought them in with me. I think all of my full coverage are on there about 4 times. So I wonder if when it's called, I give it concentrated days that I know I can stitch a lot on it. And see if we can get this thing done. You know? Oh, that's a good idea, Mom. Although with a bum finger, I think twirling the needle might be a problem for me. I have to tell you, I'm really not liking the fact that I have an open cut on a finger when I'm getting ready to go into a hospital. There's just one of those things that, oh, Kelly, I bet you are. Anyway, going in the hospital with an open wound on my finger is not my idea of a good time. For sure. Okay, we're going to continue crossed. I've never caught anything from the hospital in a cut, but oops, dropped my needle. I've treated people that have caught things like cellulitis because they've had a cut in their hand and something's gotten into it, some organism. I think I'm a little paranoid, but in the same regard, I have lots going on right now, and I do not need to be out because of some illness because I have a cut in my hand. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is wearing. It's not so bad this week. So I'm in the lab with the students all day, all the days I'm in clinical. So that shouldn't be so bad. Hopefully it's healed up enough after that it doesn't cause me. I think that's the only thing I get anxious about is catching stuff like that with an open cut on my hand. Yeah, Gail gets it, right? Yeah. It's the things nurses think about. We have weird minds. It's probably why we're nurses. I'm trying not to sing. There's music playing in the living room and I can hear it. And usually when I'm stitching, listening to music, I'm usually singing along and trust me, you don't want to hear that. So I'm having to remind myself to not sing. 1, 2, 3, 2 more. I'm just cruising right along on this. I'm so happy because the electronic pattern makes such a difference. So this morning, Gail and I did not do our video chat this morning. For personal reasons. I just could not do it this morning. I knew that my night was going to be short and a little bit on the rough side, so I preemptively canceled it, because not only did I not feel like I could, or that I might not be up to doing all that, I don't think she needed to see me this morning either. I did get up and stitch on the reindeer this morning, though. And I watched church from home this morning instead of going. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm doing the right thing here. And I stitched quite a bit on the reindeer, so that has gotten some work. Gail, I still think you're ahead of me. Carol, I wish I was still a layperson, to be honest with you. Let me take a drink. So I did work on the reindeer this morning. I think Gail's still ahead of me. So I finished the antlers here. Started putting in all the snowflakes. I am almost finished with the house here. I will go back to working on it after this live. I am hoping, so I got up this morning hoping that I could finish this today. I think it could be doable, just because it's just a lot of fill-in feet, and there's grass. There's one more tree over here and some snowflakes. I believe that's it. Let's take the picture out and take a look at it. And depending on, how much time I spend doing other things. Can you see this? Okay, here's the picture. See, there's one tree, the legs, and these blades down here. And all the snowflakes. Can I get it done today? We'll see. I am going to give it a good college try, Gail, so we'll see, because I still have another square to knit on my Hue Shift Afghan to meet my weekly goal on that. So we'll see. But after this live, oops, sorry, just knocked everything. After this live, I'm going to go back to, I probably will knit that square on my Afghan just so that gets done. And then go back to the reindeer. Because I believe, Gail, we decided to do the bear next. And I think I'm about ready to be done with the reindeer, to be honest. But I also am thoroughly enjoying working on this now that I have electronic pattern. The other thing I found out today, Matt and I recently bought a new scanner printer here for the house for lots of reasons. He's working from home a lot, lots of reasons. Anyway, I found out that you can scan patterns. I can scan patterns and it'll send it to a PDF to my computer, which then makes it a Pattern Keeper compatible. It may not be something that you can search legends or search symbols kind of like this, but at least it puts it on Pattern Keeper, which is easy to read. You can enlarge it, if you need to or whatever. It also takes large patterns and I can copy them in smaller segments, and it knits it together. And I haven't tried doing that yet, but I want to try doing it and seeing if it actually works. And I kind of want to start, so let's give you a little sneak peek now into some stuff from FlossTube, okay? So I have a pattern here. Let's see if I can find it. I have a Nora here, Nora Corbett. Hold on. I have a Mira. Sorry, I said Nora Corbett. It's called the Tree of Hope. I'm hoping you guys can see that. So it's called the Tree of Hope. I was able to acquire through a friend all the care and water lilies for this. See, you join in for a stitch with me and I go right into a floss tube kind of update and the bead pack. So look how pretty. And I think right now, without getting into all the details and all the nitty gritty that's going on in life right now, but it might be nice to start the Tree of Hope. I do have a 28 count natural linen here that I think Gail, that's so funny. There's such pretty colors, and I don't know, I have a thing with trees. For those of you that have seen me before, I have a tree tattoo on my forearm that has 4 birds flying out of it, representing my kids that have grown and flown the coop, so to speak. But this, I think, is absolutely beautiful. And as I'm looking at this here on camera, I'm thinking I'm going to need to start this just because. What's the point in letting it sit aside? You know? The other, and this is coming from a year ago. You can watch videos from me and I would have told you, or a couple years ago, and I would have said to you, I'm not ever going to be stitching a Mirabilia. And I lied. Because now I'm falling in love with them. So here's another one. This is Electra. And I'm not a huge Halloween stitcher, but I really like her. And I've said this before, I'm not a huge Halloween stitcher, yet I'm stitching Halloween Quaker. I have plenty of Halloween pieces going on. So I say that, I have to stop saying that now. So this chart only calls for DMC, I believe. Let me look. Yep, DMC and beads. So there she is. I'm thinking about stitching her on a gray linen instead of the brown. And I also have the beads for her. And you're right, Gail, I can't finish it unless I start. And this one is pretty small. So the Tree of Hope, small in my standards. Okay, sorry, I keep knocking that. So both of them are kind of, the Tree of Hope is a little more. It's 185 by 244. And it's stitched on 32 count. But I think it would, I might try to find a 32 count in my stash if I can. I do have some. I'm turning around to look in my stash. I do have some. But if not, I'm going to stitch it on a 28 count. Either way, I'm using 2/2, so it's not going to really matter there. And the beads will fit just fine on 28 count. Yeah. So, I know, Erin, I do too. She is not very big. She is, I hope I didn't tell you already, 168 by 138. So in terms of Miras, that is not very big. Not very big at all. So I kind of feel like a start session coming on. And there's other patterns I've gotten that I would like to start as well. I know I say all the time I'd like to reduce my whips, and part of me does, but the other part of me just loves that give me something new to stitch on kind of thing. But I am really, I'll show these again in my floss tube when I do a floss tube. I have no idea when that's going to be. But I think I'm going to start both of them. I think I'm going to start both of them. So today I may find fabric and get them all ready to go. My DMC is on my cart. I have a full set sitting, hanging on floss drops. So that's not a problem. But I do think I'm going to start, I'm going to start both of them. And I may even do, never mind, I'm not going to do. The girls on this Tree of Hope look delicate. So I was initially thinking, Mom, maybe I'll do 1/1 skin on them, but I'm not gonna. But that's what's in the works right now. So all that being said, and I also got beads for a pattern I do need to order. I got a Circle of Friends bead pack. So if you can see the pattern, let's let it focus. I have 2 sisters. And I thought, how cool would it be if I did this keeping in mind my 2 sisters? And the dresses are good colors, but I think I would do the hair. We're all gray haired now, all 3 of us. And I think I would do a gray hair conversion. So we'll see. But that's all for me today, guys. Thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it. It was a welcome distraction for the day, and I'm glad you took time out to come and chat with me. This will go up on the channel after it buffers and goes through all those things that the YouTube people want to do to it. But thanks for joining me. Hopefully a floss tube update soon, but you just got a sneak peek. So I'll let you know if I start these things. I'll post it on my community tab, and I'll post a picture of the whole setup to do this live on my community tab, just because I think it's kind of funny. But have a great day. Have a great Sunday. I'll see you soon.